we were one of the first boats to go down on the Wigan flight. Today, it's opening.
Don't know whether there's any lockies on.
Thank you.
This would prove to be incorrect, because little did we and many others know that Peter Baxter, and the other 2 volunteer lock keepers had been sacked. Everything was going well. We'd got into a really good routine until we reached lock 74, when things didn't go to plan. And it got a little bit scary. As the boat descended the lock, it was clear there was a lot of water coming in from the gates behind. Every time I tried to reverse, the force of the water would push me forward. The only way of trying to resolve the situation was to throw Jan the centre line and get her to pull me over. In one final attempt, I used the full power of the engine to go as far back as I dared.
My nerves are shot.
Well, it's the following day. We didn't film much after we got down the flight because it was raining, for one thing, and for another thing, we were knackered. It was hard going, I think you could say.
Hard going?
Yeah.
That's the worst thing I have ever done, and I am not doing it again. No time soon.
No. We have no plans to go back up there. Once we've gone to Liverpool and turned round and come back, we should be going down the Lee branch and heading off that way. Well, that's future vlog. Anyway, to sum up what happened yesterday, the first day of the flight opening, having been closed for work on Lock 84 for the last almost 6 weeks, I think it was. There was no plan from Canal and River Trust. It was basically the flight will open at 9 o'clock, every man for himself, going down, coming up, despite the fact that they were told countless times by customers, i.e. boaters, that there was quite a number of boats going down and coming up. And would they organise anything? No, in fact, quite the opposite. Nothing happened. Not only were there no lockies, in fact there have been no lockies, official lockies on that flight, paid lockies that is, since about 2019 I think. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's been nobody paid to lock keep 23 locks that are quite significant, that take thousands of litres of water from top to bottom and can leave that flight unusable. Yes, you could go back and fill up another lock and let another load of water down, but bear in mind how much water there is going down, and I think you'll be surprised that there's nobody managing that. It's a big major lock flight, and if you think of all the other lock flights where there are even volunteer lock keepers on, then why Canal and River Trust think that this is okay to leave boaters to their own devices? So when the 3 full-time lockies were given their last paycheck and waved on, they were replaced by 3 volunteers. And of course, as we know, with volunteers you don't have to turn up, you don't have to work any annualised hours, you're free to do whatever you want to do. Bless them, they did everything they could to help boaters going up and down the flight. However, something transpired yet now. It's now Friday the 5th of July, and I'm sure by the time this vlog goes out we'll have updated something in the comments to say what has happened.
It happened on the day that they reopened the locks and we were going down.
Yeah. There was nobody, no volunteers.
There wasn't any volunteers, but they have friends of the Wigan flight that help, and there was one gentleman, I think his name was Dave, and he helped me through 4 locks, and without him I think I would have given up.
Yeah.
And thank you very much to Dave. And there was another young man, and he was the one that actually said, because I said to him, "Oh, you a locky?" And he went, "As from tomorrow, no." And I was like, what? So we don't know the ins and outs, but there is nobody helping anybody.
No. Effectively what's happened is there is 2 groups, okay? So there's the volunteers, official volunteers from CRT, who are branded and everything else. Those are the 3 guys that work the locks whenever they can, usually in the morning. Then there's what's called the Wigan flight crew. They've got their own Facebook page. I'll put a link to it down in the description. They are helpers of helpers, if you see what I mean. They're unofficial people who live nearby, who love the locks, know quite a lot about it, know the idiosyncrasies of every single lock there is. valuable knowledge to impart to boaters on the way down or going up. Like I say, they're not official volunteers, but they help. Just like you might get help from any other lock wherever you might travel. Now, I know some boaters might say, thank you very much, but part of the fun is me doing the locks on my own. Great when you've got a couple of locks. When you've got 23...
I was dragging him. Don't you leave me.
When you've got 23 locks of this size and magnitude, and boy, some of those are bloody heavy, and almost impossible to open. Some you can't even open the gates, you're not allowed to because they've got faults on them. In situations like that, yes please, we'll take all the help we can get. I don't care, as long as you understand that I'm in the lock and I might tell you stop, don't go until I'm ready, do one gate at a time or one paddle at a time. Fine, as long as you're under my direction, that's great. It doesn't bother me at all if you want to help anybody. But they decided not to come out because these 3 volunteers had apparently been dismissed, sacked. How that happens, I have no idea. And I'm sure, like I say, the truth will come out in the end. However, on a positive note, because we have to finish this on a positive note, the weather is lovely.
You can't see him. You can't see him.
Our friends are here.
Look, the hand. Hang on. It's Chris.
No, it's Steve.
Chris. See, I'm
See?
not with it at all yet.
No.
It's Steve from Life on Board AmyJo.
And you'll have seen them earlier giving us a hand with the last 2 locks as we came down here.
Yeah.
And anybody who says, oh, you don't want to walk more up in Wigan,
it's
spent 2 nights here,
fine.
absolutely fabulous before the last lock coming down.
I think the worst is that there's a wind chime in the tree, which kept Tony awake.
That was the noisiest thing.
That's the least of your worries.
That's the least of our worries, yeah. So we're heading forward, and obviously our ultimate goal is Liverpool. Today I think we're going to get as far as Crooke, so we're not going to go too far, and then that may be the end of this particular vlog. As usual, no idea until we actually get there. But yes, we're now back with Steve, Chris and Smudge on AmyJo. Woo! It's lovely travelling with friends. It's great being on your own and discovering new things.
Too long, we've had too many stoppages.
But it's also as good to be with friends.
Yeah, I've had enough of him.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get going. This area is known as Wigan Pier, and if the name Wigan Pier conjures up images of a pier such as you'd see at the seaside, then you'd be wrong. Wigan being inland and a traditional industrial town, the pier name comes from the loading staith by the canal, probably a wooden jetty where coal boats would be loaded from coal wagons from the nearby collieries. Here you can see a steamboat being loaded at the pier. It's thought the gantry and all the metalwork was demolished in the 1920s, and all that remains are the arms of the tipping mechanism. The area is still littered with various warehouses that are now museums, bars, apartments, as well as cafes and galleries. First lock of the day, because there's always a first lock of the day, isn't there? Pagefield Lock. We've got 2 locks to get down into Crooke. That's how I'm feeling at the moment, Crooke. Still haven't got over those Wigan flight yet. Back's killing me. Anyway, yes, Pagefield lock. Then we've got another lock after this, and then we're going to look for a mooring. So not too far a journey today. And I believe, as it's Friday night, it might be pub night. What do you reckon? Should we? Be silly not to, probably.
Oh yes, yes.
Watch the ladder as you're coming in, Tone, it sticks out.
Are you locking them now? Yes. That one wouldn't work. They're so high, aren't they?
Look, there he goes.
No.
There's no steps, Tone.
And I'm not jumping. Thanks for watching our vlog.
Thank you to our supporters on Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee and channel members. If you want to join them, there's details down below in the video description. In the meantime, don't forget to give us a thumbs up for a like, Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's totally free to do so. And then when you have subscribed, press the bell icon.
Ding!
Thank you, Jan. And YouTube will let you know next time we upload a vlog. In the meantime, stay safe everybody. Happy cruising. Bye.